is smaller than you think. So, do in life what you've said to do others. Don't take it one step at a time. And actually, the world is a big oyster.
So a little over 2 years ago, I stuffed all of my material possessions into my tiny car. I left Chicago and I drove 800 miles out here to Oklahoma. Coleman, who a lot of you probably know as Xole, basically said, hey, we're moving into this house that our parents own. There's an extra room. It'd be super cool if you came out here and lived with us. I felt like it would be a great opportunity to collab on music and videos and also just kind of take a next step in my life. So that is what I did, and that's been my life for the last 2 years pretty much. At first in the house it was Coleman, Caleb, me, and Cole, but then Cole eventually moved to Nashville, but Wesley moved in, so it's been us four for probably about a year now, but now I am the only one left. I'm chilling here by myself. Coleman is officially married now. Wesley and Caleb moved out like about a week ago now, and tomorrow is going to be the day that I start moving out as well. Pretty crazy seeing the house like pretty much empty. Coleman's studio, pretty much empty. As you can see, we also got all this paper stuff all over the floor because this is the kitchen. We have had no kitchen sink or countertops or oven or stove or any of that stuff for probably like a month now. Let me show you the new kitchen. Behold the kitchen. Essentially a folding table with a microwave on it. So that's been great. I've been eating canned food for the last month. So yeah, that is kind of the state of things at the moment. And after a few grueling weeks of looking for houses and setting up house tours and touring the houses, me and Kathy, my girlfriend, ended up finding pretty much the perfect place for us. Before I came here, I had only ever lived with my mom and my family. I've grown a lot and done a lot since I've been here. But even though I made a lot of great memories and had a lot of really good times here, I definitely am ready to move on. I'm ready to have some real food again instead of just eating dog food from a can. So yeah, it's kind of just the end of a chapter here, but the end of one chapter means it's the start of a new chapter.
Which this is like burnt orange and blue color.
Oh. A lot going on in here, a lot of chaos.
Yeah. Just play the piano.
It's safe to say Bradbury, New York Piano is never sponsoring us after this one. It is so hot in here. My shirt is drenched in sweat. Here's the studio. This is exactly how it's gonna look.
You don't even have a computer.
Yeah.
You just have one synth that's not plugged in.
There's no way that I can explain how difficult it was to get this in here.
Here, lay on it. Let's get a perspective. And Felix is 7 foot, so.
Yeah, I'm 7'4". That's an extremely long desk.
It's so, yeah. And you have a furnace to have a little cozy fireplace right there.
Yep, this is the wood burning stove. The room is cleared. Wow.
Felix, I can act like I'm filming from where your camera usually is.
Yeah. And this would be my desk right here.
Yeah.
Welcome back to another video. Extremely long day of moving. I was up at like 8 a.m. moving, and it's 8:10 right now, and we still have actually more moving to do, so. Yeah, empty.
Empty house.
Okay, it's recording. Here you can. Okay, so this is the studio currently. This is after day 2 of moving. It looks a lot cleaner now, actually. There's a lot more space in here. This room is mostly just filled with studio stuff now. We also have the power back on. We didn't have the power yesterday because the breaker was turned off. No one knows why, it just was. Right now, the goal is to make it not 90 million degrees in here because it's been like 90 degrees in this house for It's currently 85 degrees in the house. The house is not cooling off very quickly. We're just waiting until it becomes a livable temperature in here. But yeah, that's pretty much day 2 of moving. Okay. Wow, isn't that great lighting? Look at that lighting, that's beautiful. Absolutely not. So you can see we're back. Today is day 3 of moving in and setting up the studio and the house and everything. I haven't shaved in 3 days. I look kind of like a disheveled mess right now. But what I'm working on today is weather stripping the doors and windows of the house. But I wanted to document specifically the studio door. A lot of people don't realize that there's a big difference between soundproofing and sound treatment. These acoustic panels that you see on everybody's walls, these are for sound treatment. Sound treatment is to make the space actually sound better and eliminate reflections in your studio space, but that is not the same as soundproofing. Soundproofing is where you try to eliminate noise that is leaving or entering the room. And a huge part of soundproofing that you have to focus on is windows, doors. Anywhere that light or air can get into the room, stuff like that, that means that sound will also get in and out of that same space. So there's a couple main things that you want to do if you're trying to soundproof a space. The one that is going to make the biggest difference is getting a door sweep. This one was like 20 bucks. I'll link it down below. You literally just pop these little vinyl things into the bottom of this and then slide this over the door right there. This door is a pretty small door, so I do have to cut this to size. Another thing though that you should do is weather strip the door. This one says window seal, but it should work for doors just fine. You want to get rubber and not foam, because foam will deteriorate over time and rubber is just more durable. You want to put that along this portion of the door right here where the door meets the frame. That just creates a better seal and stops any of the excess noise from getting out of those gaps. And hopefully this does actually work. Almost forgot, another thing you should do is clean the area. If you don't clean it properly, the adhesive is not going to stick and then it'll just fall off and be totally useless. All this gunk is going to prevent the adhesive from sticking. Okay. This is a sound test before soundproofing, and this is kind of how it sounds after soundproofing. The only problem is that the door sucks. You can see there's a very uneven gap on the floor here. So I don't really know what to do about that. I'm gonna have to try to fix that somehow. Another part of that problem is that the door right here is super tight, and here it's totally fine. So I think the door is just kind of like crooked in the frame. So we're gonna need to figure out some sort of solution for that. But this should help a little bit for now. Alright, so I finished with all the other house stuff. So I started working on the studio setup. As you can see, we've got some changes here. Drums are by far the trickiest part of setting up any studio because they take up so much space just as they are, but you also have to account for so much space behind the drum kit because you need to like sit and everything. I really want them to face out like this, but it might be a situation where we have to put it up against the wall again. Okay, now this I can live with. It's kind of pushed more into the corner, sacrificing a little bit of comfortability. The kit is also a little bit more squashed in now, just in general. My only concern is that it's covering this vent right here, but I might be able to get some sort of vent cover that like directs the air out this way. I don't really know. I'm probably just gonna keep messing around with the orientation and see if I can get something that I like even better. But this right here, it's not bad. Let's go ahead and tackle the sound treatment. So sound treatment is really not super hard to understand. When you're trying to treat a room, what you have to do is look at every single flat surface in your room and know that that surface is going to reflect sound back off of it. And the real danger, the real killer when it comes to the sound of your room is flat parallel surfaces. So either side of your walls and also floor and ceiling. The way that you can mediate this is by putting something soft over one or both of the surfaces. It helps if it's soft, and it also helps if it's some sort of like angular thing like these acoustic foam are, because all the jagged, differently angled surfaces will allow the sound to get diffused rather than just reflecting back. Now also, a lot of people think that you need to just have every square inch of your wall covered. That's kind of everybody's go-to when it comes to sound treating, but it's not really always the best option. What may sometimes be a better option, and what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna create sort of a checkerboard pattern like this. First of all, it allows you to save more acoustic foam because you don't have to cover every single square inch of the wall, but also if you treat every single surface in the room, it's gonna make the room sound very dead, which might be what you're going for, but it's gonna lose a lot of the interesting tone and unique character of the specific room you're in. So leaving a few spaces can actually give you a little bit more of like a live, real sound, while still eliminating a lot of the excess annoying reflections. So we're gonna try that method. All right, first panel in the studio is going up. One down, 40 billion more to go. And there we have it. One corner completed. It looks pretty cool though, I will say. I like the checkerboard vibe. So in a few minutes here, I have to go pick up a microwave. Microwave. So today is day 3 or 4. I don't really know what day it is. Last night was actually the first night sleeping in the new place. Right now it's currently like 6:30 a.m. because I couldn't sleep. But yesterday we got something very exciting. Look at this bad boy. It's a rug. So if you remember, I was talking about how one of the biggest problems when it comes to parallel walls creating reflections, floor and ceiling. That's why carpeted floors are ideal for a studio, but if you don't have a carpet, you slap down a little rug on the floor. So last night we went to Ross because those type of stores like Ross and TJ Maxx and whatever that other one is, Home Goods, they have a really good selection of just like random home stuff for cheap. So we got a bunch of random stuff like a dish rack and oh, this really cool bathroom mat. Look at that. But yeah, so while we were at Ross, I found a black and white checkerboard rug, but it was like a 4x6. It would have worked, but it's kind of small. But as we were checking out, Kathy just randomly spotted this one leaning against one of the counters. And we were like, hey, is that one for sale? That's like kind of exactly what I need. This one is a 5'2" x 7". And the lady was super nice. She said, oh, it's like a little bit dirty, so I can discount it for you guys. And not only did she discount the rug, but she discounted our entire order, which was so nice of her. But yeah, I want to see how this thing looks in the studio. But first, we light a candle. Teak wood moss. Teakwood moss. Teakwood moss. Teakwood moss. This is actually the same tool that I almost chopped my finger off with. Check out that video right there. Oh yeah. Yeah, that's good. I'll just leave it like that. The problem is I kind of need to put it underneath my drums. 5'2". Alright, so this is kind of the vibe that we're on. How do we like this? Not a whole lot, really. Oh, there's so much moving things around. Okay, hey, it's a work in progress, but I think it's pretty cool. The other thing that we are going to need to tackle today is this. This desk is an absolute mess. One of the major downsides of this desk as opposed to my old desk is that this one doesn't have drawers. And the drawers are kind of where I keep all my random little knickknacks and such. I have this little plastic thing down here, which also holds a lot of my other junk, but there's probably a lot of stuff that I don't need in here. So I think I'm just gonna try to go through it and see what I don't need and then use it for more storage for more things I don't need. One singular stick of incense. It smells pretty good actually. I'm gonna light this right now. Okay, great news. We have successfully cleared one box. It doesn't seem like much, but it'll make a big difference. The top shelf is gonna be stuff that I use pretty frequently. The second drawer is gonna be stuff that I don't really use frequently, but I do sometimes use. And the bottom drawer is just gonna be kind of a drawer of junk that I randomly throw things inside of. I love this desk. I thought it was gonna be too big, but I really like it. And one of the things I especially love about it is this rack sidecar unit thing. The only thing I don't like about it is that it opens this way. So I'm gonna switch this door so that it opens on the other side. Voila! It opens on the right side now. Or the left side, technically. Or wait, no, it opens from the right side, but it's hinged on the left side. So great news! I've officially emptied all of the boxes on my desk, but now we have a massive pile of junk. So the next task is going to be cleaning and organizing all of this. There's still a few things that I'm gonna have to figure out what exactly to do with, but it's a start. It feels nice to have a clean desk. Obviously nothing's plugged in yet, so that is probably gonna be the next step. Plugging everything in and wiring everything up, and we should pretty much have a functional studio after that. Hello everyone, today is, I don't even know what day of moving into the house, but as you can see, we got some cash. This is gonna be the first piece of music gear that we buy for the new studio. And I have a giant desk now, so it's gonna fit on the giant desk.
Right here?
Yeah. Should I plug it in for dramatic effect? Also, we have internet now too. Internet. Okay, so admittedly, we have quite a bit less desk space now, but I want to try to get everything set up so that I can actually use my computer on my desk. Computer. This computer is so old that it constantly needs to be plugged in because otherwise it will die within like 20 minutes. Another thing that I really like about this desk is that it has this little metal strip on the bottom and then these holes in the top of the desk where you can feed cables through and then rest them on this thing and then plug them into the built-in power strip here. Hey, we got power. Okay, so at this point, the computer should function just fine as it is. Officially got the pedal board in here. A little bit of a mess in here right now, but that's okay. Hello everybody! Today we're going to set up the final piece of the puzzle, the rack mounted items and gear. This is pretty much the most boring and time intensive part of building any studio. Plugging stuff in and patching things in and running a bunch of cables everywhere. It sucks, but you gotta do it. I'm sweating right now. I just made ground beef, so it's like really hot in the house. The ventilation in here is not great. It's usually easier if you just tip this thing on its side, but I'm not gonna do that. We're not in the business of making things easier for ourselves. I make everything way harder for myself. Oh my god, what the holy Let's see. Oh yeah, protection working. Look at that, green light. So there's something that I've been thinking about. A while ago now, I bought this. This is an ADAT preamp expansion. It's a PreSonus whatever. This basically just adds 8 preamp channels to your audio interface, which is super, super nice. But if I'm gonna be running drums straight through the mixer now, I don't really know if I need this anymore. I don't really know if I should plug all my drum mics into the PreSonus or just straight into the back of the mixer, because I also don't know if the mixer totally works or not yet. Yeah, now this is what I call a pro setup here. Oh yeah. Yeah. This Digitech Studio S100, I bought this and I have never bought a power supply for it. So it's kind of just for show right now. I want to put it on the rack just to kind of complete the look, but I feel like that's totally pointless. So this tape deck right here is really cool. Coleman very kindly gave me this. And I'm thinking maybe I also put this in the rack thing. It might kind of look good in there. Hey, that's pretty cool. Look at that. That's pretty cool. Stuff's lighting up inside there. I would say I need a new headphone band thing. Oh yeah, we got sound. Alright, so there's probably like 100 different videos that I should be editing right now, but I think I kind of want to tackle the drum microphone setup and maybe also see if the mixer works. Microphones. Look how sick this bandana is. I probably should invest in like a cable snake or something. Do we just test the mixer now? I think maybe the best play is just test the mixer now. Welcome to building a studio. This is what it looks like, guys. Auxiliary out. Matrix out. Okay, honestly, I have no idea what any of that means. This is the worst thing ever. Setting up cables just sucks. Now we gotta get the cables into the microphones, into the mixer, and then into the inner. This will be snare microphone, okay? Boom. And now we take this little guy, click, and pop. There we go. Beautiful. That's more or less the drum mics. It says powered on. Huh. Okay. I don't see any movement. I don't really know what's going on. Okay. This might take a little longer than I expected. This is huge. Big development. Watch this. We are getting sound. Oh, that's a lot of sound. Wow, okay. It should work. Just a little clipping. Pure happiness, pure bliss that I experienced just now. The mixer actually works. Oh, that sounds good. Hold on. Oh, that sounds really good. So maybe you think to yourself, oh, I should just quit while I'm ahead, right? And just leave the drum set up like this. Well, no, I gotta be extra and I gotta set up some stereo overheads. Okay, that is set up. One of the channels isn't on, that's what it is. So channel on. Please be in stereo. My heart's a stereo. Okay, great news. We have a stereo on the overheads. This has taken me so long to do. It's probably been about like 2 or 3 hours now that I've spent just trying to set all these microphones up. Really, the one final microphone that I want to set up is going to be a room mic. Honestly, I think room mic is just going to be here. And we're just going to put this guy into channel 6. If this works, we will pretty much have a functioning studio. We officially have an analog mixer drum recording setup. That is so exciting. All right, so I honestly didn't think I was gonna do that today, but I'm glad that I ripped the Band-Aid off and I took care of it because it just made me really excited to record drums now. Also, that was probably like the most advanced producer thing that I've probably ever done. I feel very professional now, even though I have absolutely no idea what I'm doing when it comes to this. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, this is it. This is the studio. Obviously, it's still a work in progress, and it's going to be a work in progress for quite a while. But I would say, for all intents and purposes, for this particular video, we're pretty much done. I'm a real nerd for putting together studio setups. I think it's just a lot of fun. I get really excited about it. I'm also just really excited now about all the music and all the videos I'm going to be making in the studio. I've said it 100 times, and I'll say it 100 more times, that I really appreciate you guys from the bottom of my heart, because actually none of this would be possible without you all. I just feel so blessed and so grateful that I'm able to have a space like this. I've been making music and videos out of bedroom studios for the past like 8 or 9 years now. And finally, we have a specific dedicated studio room. So yeah, thank you guys for everything and for watching this video. I really appreciate you all. Be safe out there. I love you guys, and I will see you in the next video.